Hi, Desiree. How are you?
Hello, I'm good.
It's so
Very
good
happy
to see
to
you.
be here. I say that I'm indirectly related to the program because I started the Jumpstart program. I live in Austin, Texas. So I
Mm,
started the Jumpstart program with Dr. Bharati Kolti.
right.
And I got there because my husband actually found out about her as I was kind of looking for alternative doctors. It all started with a very stressful time. I work at UT Austin, and I had a very stressful semester, and I have some scarring in my lungs. So I thought it was lung related, and so the doctor at that time recommended that I do a calcium scoring. So I did a calcium scoring, and I was very surprised to find that I was in the low moderate risk. And so that led me to do something about it. And I ended up finding Dr. Bharati Kolti. I remember waiting 6 months to have an opening to see her. And
Mm,
as soon as they opened this Jumpstart program, I joined it. I already had an open mind, so I was very curious and eager to learn new things. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my numbers. I was already taking 5 milligrams of statin 3 times a week. And by then I had lowered my cholesterol from 240 to 139. But
hmm
in 2 weeks, I lowered it from 139 to 103. My LDL, which had been lowered from 106 to 66, was lowered to 39 in 2 weeks.
mm,
And then my glucose, which was 101, I guess it wasn't that high of a risk, but I'm kind of a proactive person, so I did not want to be borderline diabetic. So I lowered it to 92 in 2 weeks. And according to me, I wasn't as strict as I should have been, but they were telling me there, maybe you are. And because I didn't, I made some exceptions. There were times when I couldn't remove the salad dressing.
hmm
I was on a trip. I do not live with people who follow this diet, so it's not that easy. It's kind of a lonely experience in that regard. But the 2 week Jumpstart program with Dr. Colty, I loved. I loved all the information that it provides.
hmm
I just completely got hooked to being her patient.
Sure. Desiree, when was that?
Yes, summer 2019. That's when I did the Jumpstart program. So it's
Oh,
been
summer of 2019. Okay. Right.
Yes, around that time because I was looking it up to yeah. And so
hmm
I've been connected with the clinic ever since then. Every time they open up anything, I sign up if I can.
Yeah, we love Dr. Colty.
Yes, and I also took the Lift program during the pandemic
Okay.
with Kim, I believe. So
Okay.
yes, so I mean, I'm very eager to. I need to be connected with a similarly minded community, especially because I do not live with people who eat this way.
hmm
Even though he eats a lot better, I see him eating meat maybe twice a week, and he eats bacon, which I just cringe when I see him eating that. But he eats a lot more greens than before. But his calcium scoring is good, so he tends to think he
Okay.
doesn't have a risk.
Yeah. That's one of the problems that I have with calcium scoring is when people get a
Yes.
good score, they think it's okay.
Yes, and so I've also listened to Dr. Clapper, and based on his recommendations, I try to have greens with a little bit of balsamic vinegar 6 times a day.
Good for you.
I try to do it, and if I definitely eat. I follow Dr. Colty's recommendation. She has greens for breakfast,
hmm
so I have a bunch of greens for breakfast. If I'm in a hurry, I just take a bunch of greens and eat it, like a lot. And
hmm
then I have oatmeal every morning. I experienced a drastic change in terms of my energy level. My head felt very clear, much more leveled in terms of stress. For me, the issue is not losing weight. I do worry at times because I would eat and eat and eat and not, I lost from 120, my weight was between 128, 129. And there's been times when I was 112. And my daughter says to me, Mom, you're too thin. So I I don't have a problem with trying to lose weight. I have to keep up with my weight because with not eating oil, it's very hard to gain weight.
Sure.
The challenge that I find is that I would like there to be more similarly minded people around me. And, you know, I've even thought of having extending my network, and it's very hard.
Sure.
So that's the challenge that I find. I find it lonely to be eating, and to people to think that it's your own little kind of, you know, thing or obsession. And my daughter says, "It's okay, Mom, can you eat this?" So, as if I say, I would try to, you know, I try not to force a point of view, but I do at times suggest this is not just good for me, it's good for you too. But so, you know, it would be, I'm craving and looking for ways to continue the commitment. So I will always try and join up with whatever program emerges, and also to find a way to influence people around me whenever is possible.
Right. Well, that's one of our goals, is to change the culture, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Make the healthy choice the easy choice. Yeah.
Yes. So there's a place here in Austin called Casa de Luz, which is, I think, the only restaurant I know that eats whole foods, plant-based diet. They cook delicious food, and no oil, no dairy, no animal protein. But it's not very easy to find restaurants here in Austin with no oil. So sometimes I make exceptions, which is the reason why I'm still taking the statin 3 times a week.
Okay. And how is your cholesterol now?
You know, I haven't. Okay, I remember. It was the cardiologist told me he wanted, in order to get rid of the statin, he wanted it to be below 70, the LDL, and it was because I relaxed a little bit. So it was, I think, last time 78. Which is what he recommended, to continue the statin, to have some leeway. Now, he's not a plant-based cardiologist, which I've been looking for one. And the person that I contacted in Austin right now, because of the pandemic, is not available. I think his name is Michael. I can't remember his last name, but I did contact him. So I am looking for, you know, doctors who have this mindset.
Sure.
In order to recommend you know, medicine that's aligned with this mentality.
Yeah. Desiree, thank you so much for sharing your story. And I'm so proud of you for sticking with it.
Yes, yes.
It's really impressive. Yeah. Yeah.
It's very inspiring.
Oh, I'm so glad. And I love, you know, so please say hello to Dr. Colty. I was so pleased when she was able to run the Jumpstart.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, really exciting.
I love it.